Welcome back to the channel with an unboxing video. So this is a guitar I've wanted for a long time, and I was very excited to find it on a Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale on Musician's Friend. I just got it. I'm already unhappy because it was from the exterior. You can tell it's poorly packed, so hopefully the guitar is in good shape. It does not come with a gig bag, so I mean, I have scissors, but I don't even need them. This is not the first poor packing job I've had from Musician's Friend. Sweetwater does an infinitely better job. So, okay. Now the Epiphone people packed it well, so hopefully it's okay. So, attention. Valuable and important accessories in box, do not discard. So let's just do one of these here. You might be able to tell what it is already. Okay, headstock is intact. This is an Epiphone Firebird. And at first glance, it does appear to be okay. The switch feels a little wonky, but let's see, that's just some dust. So, the Epiphone Firebird. This is, of course, an iconic guitar, and currently it is the regular, so to speak, Firebird like this is not in the Gibson USA line. It might be on their website, but it's never in stock, and they just basically don't make it as a production model at the moment. But this is an extremely well-reviewed guitar. The customer reviews are tremendous. I know Phil McKnight said that this was every bit as good as his Gibson one. I know Trogley did a video where he opened it up and showed that this really is a neck through design and not just a set neck in disguise, because there's many variations of the Firebird. And this is the original for the most part, to the best of my knowledge. I know it came in different pickup configurations, but this Epiphone is the real deal. And I mean, I've always admired the Firebird because, as you know, if you watch my channel at all, I'm a bigger Fender fan than Gibson fan. And I've heard many people say over the years, this is maybe the most Fendery of the Gibson models, because it has these Firebird pickups, which are not standard mini humbuckers, that typically are a little brighter and clearer than a regular Gibson humbucker. And yeah, this feels really nice. Really like the neck shape. There's the, best as you can see there, the nut right out of the box. But despite the poor packing job, I mean, it looks like it's in great shape. I can already tell, I've never even played a Firebird before. People always say because of the design, it makes you feel like you're kind of going this, and I can see because there's a lot of real estate back there. Not to what I would expect it to be. Let's see, looks like action, I'm not sure how well you can tell, especially with my white shirt, is on the high side out of the box, but obviously that can be adjusted pretty easily. First impressions, feels high quality. I've been critical of some of the Epiphone finishes in the past. That is, in terms of them feeling cheap. And this one feels pretty good. Not the best, but not the worst. Let's see. But small details, it looks really nice. The price on this has gone up recently. It is $699 regular price. I got it on sale for $5.59. That's a sale that's available to anybody. I think before I even plug it in and play it, you may have seen the more expensive Epiphone Firebird models. They have Gibson pickups and are ludicrously expensive for Epiphones, in my opinion. They're almost as much as the Gibson Firebird was a few years ago when it was last in the regular Gibson line. They might be great guitars, but I cannot fathom how for another Epiphone, even though it has the vibrola or whatever, I would not want that personally. It might look cool, but I actually prefer the guitar to stay in tune. And those are of limited utility in my opinion. But I think it's ludicrous to think that one of those guitars is worth almost 3 times as much as this one based on what I've seen about this one. So enough of me just talking. I will get you some sound samples with this. We'll take a closer look at it. I believe it's supposed to have CTS pots. We'll check on that. And very excited to see what this thing can do after wanting it for a very long time. Okay, the guitar is tuned up. You're getting ready to hear it plugged in for the first time with me. And also, let me note, sometimes people complain about the guitar going out of tune or the intonation being off in these sound samples. That is because it is right out of the box and I am demoing it right out of the box. So please keep that in mind. I will set it up later because it needs a setup. The action's too high. I think that this is raised up too high. But anyway, just please keep in mind these are brand new strings. This is just shortly after you saw me take it out of the box. And later in the video, it'll be a little more played in, but right now it's brand new. So, let's see what it'll do. See what I did there? This is the bridge pickup. Nice sound. I'm already finding myself having to get used to feeling like I'm tall. I'm about 6'2", and that's a long reach over there, which is just a thing with a Firebird. Very nice. Good, go in the middle position. I think it sounds great. Again, I don't mean to keep harping on it. I mean, it's not unplayable, but this has the highest action of any guitar I've gotten right out of the box in a long time. Actually, before I go back on the mill, let's do a little bit of lead here. I really like how it has a smooth, thick sound, but with a little more clarity and bite. Basically exactly what you would expect. Okay, in the neck position now. One thing I do like, could be better, but I do like about this compared to the Explorer is just because of maybe it's the way I hold the guitar and having long arms and things like that. I find an Explorer extremely uncomfortable to play the way it juts out here. You got a little bit of that with a Firebird, but it kind of tucks in nicely for me because I tend to pick a little closer to the neck. But that's definitely something to keep in mind. If I fail to say it, I'm going to a box of AC10 with the volume on about 3, gain on about 3, and treble and bass on 5. Back on the bridge. Middle. Neck. And while we're at it, let's test out the volume. This is the bridge, 10. Going all the way down, so let's see. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. So, not the most linear. There's a big cliff after about 8. Try the neck. 10, 8, 6, same thing. 4, 2. Now let's try the tone back on the bridge. Tone on 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. And that's extremely linear. Again, I'm not always sure how well that comes through on the sound samples on YouTube, but polar opposites. Now, going to the neck tone, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Same thing. So great linear feel on the tone knobs, not so much on the volume. So I'm going to tune up a little bit more and get some overdrive sounds. Okay, tuned up a little bit. I've kicked on the JHS Violet. You'll see the settings right here. So, still going to the box AC10, the bridge pickup. If you follow me, you probably know who my favorite musician who's played one of these in the past is. So, let's do another one by him. Again, bridge pickup. This is 22 frets with great access up here. Okay, middle position. Let's go to the neck now. Yeah, I just love this. This is... Man. So, now I'm going to take a closer look at some of the finer details of the guitar, then get you some more sound samples. Okay, let's take a closer look. So one of the main things about a Firebird is it is a neck through. You see these stripes? These are different pieces of wood that run the entire length of the guitar. I'm not going to open it up to examine this because Trogley did that, and I will link it below, but this is not a set neck in disguise. This is a true neck through. I think it's actually the first neck through guitar I've ever owned. But they're mahogany and walnut strips there, very traditional sunburst finish. See the control layout, nice vintage looking controls here. Very similar to an SG or a Les Paul. Same thing with the tailpiece and the bridge. Of course, we have these special Firebird pickups, not many humbuckers, but they are humbucking. See if I can give you a sense here of, when I say that's high, try to zoom in, I think they can come down some because that is you can see how high that is. So, I mean, you can also adjust the truss rod, but I think that will be my first recourse, will be adjusting this, but that'll be not for this video. There's a piece of fuzz there. Love the pick guard, love the Firebird logo. A classic car designer actually came up with this design for Gibson. I believe it was to compete with the Stratocaster, to give it something a more modern looking design. And a very high end, because again, much as I love my Strats and Tellies, this is a much, just on paper, higher spec construction with the neck through. The Indian Laurel fretboard, which I might use some conditioning. I actually think the wood grain looks nice, and I'm not in the Indian Laurel hater club like some people, just because it's more inexpensive. I think it is an excellent rosewood substitute, and at this price point, I think it's just fine. Now, if you're getting an Epiphone that's getting over $1,000, that's a little bit different. The frets, these are medium jumbos, feel good. You can feel that they're there, but no fret sprout. I give them a 4 on the Phil McKnight scale. I believe this is a tusk nut. If I'm wrong, you'll see it go across the bottom of the screen now. It's cut pretty well, really well actually. The edges are a little bit sharp there. It's not quite flush, but that's a little Epiphone, maybe not the most labor hours into it, but then again, I would say Gibson to be any better. The headstock, Epiphone on the truss rod cover. Traditional tuners, not the banjo tuners. Some people don't like that, but I've also talked to people who just think the banjo tuners, though they look cool, are a pain in the ass. So that is a matter of taste. String angle, Trogley talked about this. Not exactly straight. kind of angled back this way, but I don't think that's going to be a huge deal for tuning stability. No, very nice. Now let's flip it over. Look at the back in a little more detail. Again, just Grover branded. Looks like this is a 2024 model. Crafted in China. Great upper fret access here. Nice heel joint. Really love the wood grain on this. Nice contours, very comfortable. And the control cavity panel here is inlaid. It is not sitting on top like a PRS SE. In fact, if anything, it's sunk in a little bit. So there should be CTS pots, if I recall. Let's crack it open. Okay, taking a look inside. These are indeed CTS pots. And there are some quality components in here. We do have quick connects if one ever wanted to change the pickups, but I wouldn't. I think the pickups sound amazing. Try to focus in a little bit better. So there's a lot crammed in here, but it looks like, I mean, these are very nice components, which might aid in why it sounds so great. So in case you were wondering, it does in fact have the CTS pots. One small thing, the switch, as you can see, try to get it looking parallel with the fretboard, kind of moves at a funny angle. Feels fine. It's just, in fact, I think it's a really nice switch, but kind of moves at a weird angle. But that's just something to get used to, I think. And of course, if you wanted to, you could open this up and change it, but I don't really think there's any need to do that. Okay, now we're going through the classic gain channel, the Marshall DSL1 head, Black Star 2x12 cab. In case I failed to say it, all these are being mic'd with an SM57. The mids and bass are on 5, treble is on 3 because I found it to be very bright. So let's see how this does on the bridge pickup. Go to the middle position. Very bright and biting, even with the treble turned down on the amp. Let's go to the neck position now. Definitely think that the neck position sounded the best through the Marshall, but a lot of good sounds in this, and that's why I like to try it through a variety of amps to see what it can do. So now let's go back to the Vox and try it with some high gain. Okay, now we're back on the JHS Violet, going through the Vox AC10. The Violet settings are here. Amp settings are still the same. Bridge pickup, let's see what it'll do. Middle position. And the neck. Back to the bridge. Middle position. And the neck. Final thoughts. This is an amazing guitar. I agree with Phil McKnight and all the others that have sung its praises. For $650 to $700, it is tremendous. I can't imagine how the Gibson version could be much, if any, better. I definitely can't imagine how the Epiphone higher end versions in terms of price would be much, if any, better, because they supposedly have Gibson pickups, but I think the sound is actually my favorite part of this. I love these Firebird pickups. And again, love the Phoenix Firebird logo there. It's just a great high quality guitar. Again, this switch is a little wonky. It kind of goes at that angle, but it works fine. I mean, the nuts cut well. It's stayed in tune pretty good to be right out of the box. Action is high, but I'm going to fix that. Easy fix. Lightweight. I mean, this is just a tremendous guitar, and it has lived up to my expectations. As I sit here, I'm actually within reach, and I did not plan this, had the Joe Bonamassa, a 1955 Les Paul Standard with the copper iridescent finish. This has, again, become maybe my favorite Les Paul I've ever had. What I was feeling for is I think I like the feel of the finish on the neck a little bit better on the Joe Bonamassa. This is sort of splits the middle, because as much as I loved my SG Special, it did have a little bit of a plasticky feel. This one less so, but this one even less. But it definitely not it's a very glossy, and it is a bit of a thick finish, but very slick. So it's not one that, to me at least, your hand's going to get, gunked up on as you're, playing, and maybe your palms getting sweaty. But Epiphone is really hitting it out of the park here recently. Rather, these are two great guitars I've gotten this year that I'm very blessed to have. In both of their cases, I can't imagine why on earth someone would want to pay 3 times as much or more for the Gibson, other than to say they had the Gibson. If that's your thing, nothing wrong with that. I'm not faulting you for that one bit. But if you're just looking for value in a good guitar, these Epiphones are fantastic. And again, I'm trying. Right now, I'm kind of checking. Yeah, this definitely has a thinner and flatter neck, the Firebird, compared to the 59 neck, I think it is, on this Les Paul. Of course, those things are a matter of taste. They're fantastic guitars. And actually, this just occurred to me. Brand new, this at full price, this would be about $15.50, these 2 guitars, which is not an insubstantial amount of money. But just think, if you felt compelled to get the inspired by Gibson with the Vibrola and Gibson pickup version of the Firebird, you could have that, or you could have both of these for the same money. And to me, that is an absolute no-brainer. So if you have any questions, please leave them below. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, keep on rocking.